We got absolutely rocked this season when Kelly ditched Zack for Jeff. And while the only action Kelly has had post-Jeff is some sympathy date with Slater, Zack's post-Kelly world has been laden with ladies. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into each of the 8 girls linked to Zack so far. Of the 8 girls, the first 4 were blind dates. Lisa sets Zack up with Sue, a girl who seemingly can't shut up and only talks about romance novels. Yikes. She was played by 16-year-old Nicole Cropper. Nicole began her acting career as a dancer on Kids Incorporated, a Disney show that launched careers for names like Jennifer Love Hewitt, or I guess just Love Hewitt, and...
They always claim they know me, coming to me, call me Stacy.
That's right, Fergie. Fergie was big on Kids Incorporated. And you may think that it would be too tough to make much of a career from simply being a dancer on the cheesiest of Disney shows. But then you would be ignorant of our boy Mario Lopez. Aw, look at that little cutie. Nicole and Mario didn't share time together, and the only other credit for Nicole is for a very special video called It's Okay to Say No to Drugs, also known as Kids Have Rights Too. So, I guess it was too tough to make a career? Jessie's attempt at setting Zack up is with Cassie, a girl who loves to get her food on. She was played by 26-year-old Miriam Mintz, who was a pre-med student with no other acting credits. There is a Miriam Mintz with some short film work, but I don't think they're the same. Take this L5 appearance. No, not the French girl band, this independently funded TV pilot. Yeah, I don't think that's her. Slater set Zack up with our physically fit, deleted scene mistress Terry. Played by the 28-year-old Madonna Grimes, it's ironic that her scene was cut because she is far and away the most accomplished of Zack's early dates. Not really one for acting, Madonna's career was primarily in the dancing and fitness space. She had her own school, dance instruction and workout videos, and won several awards for her choreography skills. She also modeled for various fitness magazines and won Miss Fitness America, among other awards. A dazzling personality, Madonna was known as the queen of hip-hop around the world due to her breakthrough approach to dance. Sadly, she died in 2016 after battling cancer. Now, it's reported in several places that Madonna was a fly girl in season 4 of In Living Color. But unless she altered her appearance and went by a different name, like Deidre Lang, Josie Harris, Lisa Thompson, or Jennifer Lopez, I don't think this is true, and I watched a lot of In Living Color to suss this out. The last of Zack's blind dates was the most successful, as she was more superficially his type. As a reminder, this is Screech's adopted cousin Kimberly, and things went so well with her that Zack used her as a means of making Kelly jealous. Which then backfired and Zack ended back to being single. Kimberly was played by Christine Kendrick. Her other on-screen appearances were few, so let's see what we can find. Before Kirk Cameron was awkwardly saving Christmas, he was dating 4 girls in one episode of Growing Pains. One of the girls was Christine's character, Joan. While there is little screen time, the date lasted the longest, as apparently it went all night. In Life Goes On, Beck is annoyed that her crush keeps bailing on their hangouts by giving the flimsiest of excuses. Corky and Zoe do some sleuthing Sherlock Holmes style and find that the guy is meeting up with Sonia, a cute blonde. Turns out that Sonia, Christine's character, teaches ballet, and the dude was just embarrassed. The 3 appearances all happened in 1991. 3 years later would be Christine's last credited role in the movie Save Me. Save Me is about Michael. He's a businessman whose wife is leaving him. He gets back out on the dating scene by perving on some chick trying on lingerie. Then they have what appears to be a purely physical relationship. But it turns dangerous. Who is trying to kill Michael? Is it the girl's crazed psychiatrist? Michael's jealous boss? Nope! It's the hottie with the body herself. She's crazy. Where does Christine fit into this sloppy affair? Well, she plays a blind date early on who channels less of Screech's cousin and more of Cassie, the great personality. While she finishes that beer, we'll jump back into the aftermath, as the blind dates weren't Zack's only action in the episode.
Excuse me, do you believe in love at first sight?
This sultry bombshell is Monique, who was briefly played by 25-year-old Regina Russell Benally. Film nerds love bringing up that she played the Red Mermaid in the movie Hook, but she's best known for her work in movies like Dungeon of Desire, where girls travel back in time to help a princess, and oh my, I'm gonna need a lot of screeches if I want to cover this movie. So it looks like Regina is best known for her work in late night movies, like Bikini Airways, Baberellas, and Sex Court, the movie. Regina eventually transitioned to the other side of the camera, where she's done some writing and directing, including many shorts related to animal activism, comedy, and music, much of it linked to her husband Frank Benally, drummer for Quiet Riot. With her background on screen, Regina is currently serving as CEO of iCaft, a company dedicated to appropriate intimacy coordination on TV and film sets. Zack's next hookup was with Danielle, the USC college girl. Danielle was played by Julie St. Clair, and I already covered a good bit of her career in the Fake IDs episode. Knowing I had this video coming up, however, I saved 2 appearances. Why? Because they both involve projects with Mark Paul Gosselaar. So, NYPD Blue. Does Julie St. Clair share a scene with Mark Paul Gosselaar? Well, Mark Paul is assigned to the case for Julie's murdered friend, but no, she gets questioned by other cops. What about She Cried No, also known as Freshman Fall? Well, Mark Paul seemingly sleeps with everyone in this movie, and Julie is no exception. One last thing regarding Julie St. Clair. Some viewers of Fake IDs wondered why it was considered so creepy for Jeff to go out with Kelly, but not for Danielle to go out with Zack. Is this just men getting mad at Jeff for taking hot Kelly, but also applauding Zack for landing a hot college chick? Is this weird sexism? My response is that sexism has very little to do with it. Jeff was in a position of power, knew Kelly's age, and went for it. Danielle was under the impression, the whole time, that Zack was college age. She wasn't a predator like Jeff. Not as creepy. And we still don't know if she ever found out the truth and how she took it. Zack then tried really hard to get Lydia to win him in the date auction. Lydia was played by Tiffany Muxlow, who only has 2 other credits. In Doogie Howser MD, the young doctor begins doing special interest spots on MTV and is soon flocked by adoring fans. Things get so crazy that he can't walk freely in the hospital. Tiffany's character is one of the diehard fans.
Look, I've examined you both, and there's nothing wrong with either one of you.
Well, we want a second opinion. From Dr. Doogie.
Get me out of here.
That seems like it would be a fun problem to have. In Twin Peaks, well, I don't know. She plays a cheerleader who watches this eye patch lady do some impressive stunt work. I haven't seen the show, but I really want to, and I refuse to spoil things for myself, even for this channel. Our last girl linked to Zack is Wendy, who won Zack in a date auction, dumped him because he was too shallow to go out with a bigger girl, then relented and went on a date to the max after the dance. Wendy was played by 27-year-old Judy Carmen. Her first role was about 5 years prior on Highway to Heaven, where she played a fat girl named Jenny with no friends. Her Jack shrine proved prophetic as she assumed tutoring her crush. Jack's lady gets jealous, which leads her to fat shame Jenny in front of Jack, get a whole box of shame donuts ruined, and then prompt a shame-laden lecture about losing weight. The fat theme continued in Saved by the Bell and into her next on-screen role in Johnny Bago. If you're anything like me, you're like, what the F is a Johnny Bago? It was a show about a guy on the run in a Winnebago, and it was created by Robert Zemeckis, the creator of Back to the Future, so I gave this episode a fair shake. It was fun, but circus stuff is not my favorite. In this episode, Johnny gets ensnared by a traveling circus. Judy played Marilee, you guessed it, the fat lady. The story here is kinda sweet as Johnny begins to fall for Marilee. Judy is a bit over the top, but she is a circus character. Regardless, it's pretty funny when she gets smushed by the ringleader and can't control braking. Johnny gets back on the road, sadly leaving Judy's character behind. In 1995, Judy had a small role in Cyber Bandits and a small role in Married with Children. In this episode, Kelly books a weight loss commercial where she is to be the body after the diet. Judy's character is the before diet body. Kelly is super pumped to finally get her face out there for producers, but then the joke is that Judy's face is superimposed on Kelly's body. It's a quality gag. Judy left Hollywood to focus solely on a dance business she'd started. Creation Station Dance became a successful school of dance for toddlers to teens. Oh, look, Blippi's been there. Sadly, in 2015, Judy was another person that we've lost to cancer. So, that's it. I guess we end with a song now? It's an ill-fated prom when Kelly gets with Jeff, a short-sighted move that left us all bereft because the cleft Jeff left in all our chest was to be filled with girls ranked second best.
Green our pasture!
Freedom! Get on out there and have yourself some fun. You gotta sow your oats before the day is done. Just know that things won't always add up, son. Here's mathematical confusion as 1 plus 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 1 in female math adds up to none. Well, this ain't supposed to be a song about Zack. Let's turn our sights over to Miss Kelly. I reckon there ain't nobody we'd rather be looking at nowhere. That's true. Let's take a step back and shed our lens of our mutual cognitive dissonance. We're gonna have to band together as a network of friends as we see Kelly in a light that's quite different. Kelly hates the fact that her dad got sacked and her sweatshirt was a dress for the prom. Meal ticket Zack could have picked up the slack, but withholding money makes him feel strong. Obvious remorse with her altered course and the fact she knows her actions are wrong. Magnetic force from her waitress chores and it's Jeff to whom her heart does belong.
Thank you.
Because you see this Kapowski could not be queen some play money and Kelly see she needed things and Jeff could be sugar daddy and that is... Are you saying Kelly was doing some gold digging? With a stud like Slater and a pimp like Zack, there was no cause to think her dating pool had lack. But what did we see when she met Mr. C, but an older man with cash to unpack? I see where you're headed and I'll raise you one. An example from the episode Date Auction. The belle left the ball when Slater took his leave, but she chose to dance with Mr. Belding. Hate that I just recorded a song about how Kelly targets older men because her dad lost his job and she's got a butt ton of siblings. It's not like she's gonna keep this up. What's that? She dates her college professor? Oh.